There's something sitting in your kitchen right now that you probably use every single day. You put it in your coffee, you bake with it, you pour it over your cereal, and it's silently destroying your kidneys from the inside out. Not over decades. Right now, your kidneys filter roughly 200 liters of blood every single day. They remove waste, balance electrolytes, regulate blood pressure, and keep your bones from crumbling. They do all of this without you ever thinking about them. But unlike your heart, which screams at you with chest pain when something goes wrong, your kidneys fail quietly. By the time most people notice a problem, they've already lost 50 to 60% of their kidney function, and the damage is permanent. The National Kidney Foundation estimates that 37 million Americans have chronic kidney disease. 1 in 3 adults over 60 is at risk, and the number one cause isn't some exotic toxin. It's not a rare disease. It's diabetes, driven primarily by the overconsumption of one ingredient that's in 74% of all packaged foods on grocery store shelves. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, but first, I need to show you the 5 kitchen items doing the most damage to your kidneys. Because by the time we reach number 1, you'll want to walk into your kitchen and throw it away tonight. Salt itself isn't poison. Your body needs sodium to function, but the amount most Americans consume is catastrophic for kidney health. The average American eats 3,400 milligrams of sodium per day. The National Kidney Foundation recommends less than 2,300 for healthy adults, and under 1,500 for anyone with kidney disease or high blood pressure. Here's what excess sodium does to your kidneys. When you eat too much salt, your kidneys have to work harder to excrete the extra sodium through urine. Over time, this constant overwork damages the delicate filtering units inside the kidney, called nephrons. Once a nephron is destroyed, it doesn't regenerate. You're born with about 1 million nephrons per kidney. By age 60, most people have already lost 25 to 30% of them through normal aging. Loading the remaining nephrons with excess sodium accelerates the decline. The second problem is that excess sodium raises blood pressure, and high blood pressure damages the tiny blood vessels inside the kidneys that feed those nephrons. It's a vicious cycle. Salt raises pressure. Pressure damages the filters. Damaged filters can't excrete salt efficiently, so blood pressure rises further, and the cycle repeats until the kidneys start failing. Most of the sodium in your diet doesn't come from the salt shaker. It comes from processed foods, canned goods, deli meats, sauces, and restaurant meals. Check the labels. If a single serving contains more than 600 milligrams of sodium, your kidneys are working overtime to process it. A single packet of instant noodles contains between 1,500 and 2,300 milligrams of sodium. That's an entire day's recommended limit in one bowl. Most people add boiling water, eat the whole thing, and have no idea they just consumed enough sodium to keep their kidneys under strain for the next 12 hours. But sodium isn't the only kidney threat hiding in that packet. Most instant noodles contain a preservative called TBHQ, tertiary butyl hydroquinone. TBHQ prevents the oil in the noodles from going rancid on the shelf. A 2014 study using a tiny camera inside the stomach showed that instant noodles remained largely intact after 2 hours of digestion, far longer than fresh noodles. That prolonged exposure means the kidneys have to process the preservative load for an extended period. Canned condensed soups are equally dangerous. A single can of chicken noodle or cream of mushroom soup can contain 2,000 to 2,400 milligrams of sodium. For someone over 60 with even mildly reduced kidney function, one bowl of canned soup is a full day's sodium budget consumed in 10 minutes. This one surprises almost everyone. Bread seems harmless, but most commercial bread in America contains an additive called potassium bromate. It's used to strengthen dough and help it rise higher. The problem is that potassium bromate has been classified as a possible carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer, and it's already banned in the European Union, Canada, China, Brazil, and India. The United States still allows it. But the cancer risk isn't even the most immediate problem for your kidneys. Commercial breads, bagels, muffins, and pastries are loaded with refined carbohydrates that spike blood sugar and insulin. Chronically elevated insulin leads to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance leads to type 2 diabetes. And type 2 diabetes, as I've already explained, is the single biggest driver of kidney failure in America. A single white bagel has a glycemic index of 72 and delivers roughly 48 grams of refined carbohydrates. Your body processes that almost identically to pure sugar. The blood sugar spike triggers an insulin surge. Over months and years of daily consumption, this pattern damages the tiny blood vessels inside your kidneys, the same way it damages the blood vessels in your eyes, your feet, and your heart. If you eat bread, switch to 100% whole grain or sprouted grain varieties. Read the ingredients. If the first ingredient isn't whole wheat flour or sprouted grain, it's refined flour regardless of what the front of the package says. This is the #1 slot because it's the root cause behind the majority of kidney disease in America. Not salt, not fat, not protein. Sugar. Added sugar is in 74% of all packaged foods sold in American grocery stores. It hides behind over 60 different names on ingredient labels, including high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, sucrose, agave nectar, rice syrup, and cane juice. The average American consumes roughly 77 grams of added sugar per day. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 25 grams for women and 36 grams for men. Here's the kidney mechanism that nobody explains clearly enough. When you consume excess sugar, especially fructose, your liver converts it into fat through a process called lipogenesis. That fat accumulates in and around your organs, including your kidneys. At the same time, chronic high sugar intake causes insulin resistance, which leads to type 2 diabetes. Diabetes damages the tiny blood vessels inside the kidney's filtering units. The filters start leaking protein into the urine, a condition called proteinuria, which is one of the earliest detectable signs of kidney disease. But even before diabetes develops, excess sugar drives chronic inflammation and oxidative stress throughout the vascular system. The small blood vessels in the kidneys are among the most sensitive in the body to this kind of damage. They're smaller than the vessels in your heart and brain. They get damaged first. And here's the number that should scare everyone over 60. The CDC estimates that 96 million American adults have prediabetes. 80% of them don't know it. Their blood sugar is elevated enough to be damaging their kidneys right now, but not elevated enough for their doctor to call it diabetes. They're in the danger zone and they have no idea. Their A1C reads 5.9. Their doctor says keep an eye on it. And meanwhile, the tiny blood vessels in their kidneys are already sustaining damage that will never fully heal. And fructose, which is the sugar found in high fructose corn syrup, agave nectar, and fruit juice concentrates, is particularly damaging because of where it's metabolized. Unlike glucose, which is processed by every cell in your body, fructose is processed almost entirely by your liver. When the liver is overwhelmed with fructose, it converts the excess into fat, drives up uric acid levels, and creates inflammatory compounds that circulate through the bloodstream and hit the kidney's filtering units directly. This is why people who drink fruit juice or soda daily develop kidney problems even if they're not overweight. A 2025 Framingham Offspring study analysis found that regular consumption of whole foods, including eggs, was associated with a lower risk of impaired fasting glucose and high blood pressure. Meanwhile, diets high in added sugar and refined carbohydrates showed the opposite pattern. The evidence couldn't be clearer. Whole foods protect your kidneys. Added sugar destroys them. The fix is the most important change you can make for your kidneys. Read every label. Check the added sugars line. If a product has more than 5 grams of added sugar per serving, think twice. Replace sweetened yogurt with plain. Replace soda with water. Replace flavored oatmeal with plain oats and real berries. Replace juice with whole fruit. These swaps cost nothing, take no extra time, and directly reduce the load on your kidneys every single day. 5 items sitting in your kitchen right now that are quietly destroying your kidneys. Excess table salt, overworking your nephrons and raising the blood pressure that damages them. Instant noodles and canned soups delivering an entire day's sodium in a single bowl. Soda flooding your body with sugar and phosphoric acid that strip your kidneys of their filtering capacity. Commercial bread spiking your blood sugar with refined carbohydrates that drive the insulin resistance behind most kidney disease. And added sugar, hidden in 74% of packaged foods, causing the inflammation, the diabetes, and the vascular damage that makes kidneys fail. Your kidneys don't complain. They don't send pain signals. They don't make you feel sick until they're already badly damaged. By the time you notice symptoms, swelling in your legs, fatigue, changes in urination, foamy urine, you've already lost function you'll never get back. There is no medication that regenerates destroyed nephrons. There is no surgery that rebuilds kidney tissue. Once it's gone, it's gone. The only option at that point is dialysis, a machine that does what your kidneys used to do naturally, 3 times a week, for hours at a time, for the rest of your life. The time to protect them is right now, with every meal, every label you read, every choice you make at the grocery store. 37 million Americans have chronic kidney disease. Most of them don't know it. You now know what's causing it and what to do about it. That puts you ahead of almost everyone. And it starts with walking into your kitchen tonight and looking at what's actually in the foods you've been eating without question.